Hello everybody, back again, Stephen Boylan here for Module 4, and this module, what I'm going to be doing is going through what we call behavioural activation. So first of all, as always, I'm just going to give you a rundown of the module. Then following that, I will share with you an intervention from this module that you can then use with your clients if you choose to do so, or if you want to just gauge a bit of an understanding of using that intervention, that's absolutely fine too. So what I'd like to do now is sort of give you a run over of what this module is about. So behavioural activation, some of you may or may not be aware of what behavioural activation is. Behavioural activation is a behavioural intervention. It's in its own right is a soul therapy, which is called behavioural activation. Behavioural activation is primarily used in depression, and you're probably thinking, well, is everybody who comes to couples counselling or marriage counselling, whatever you want to call it, going to be depressed? And the answer is probably not, but a good majority of clients who I've worked with in the past have been struggling with low mood, and this is down to the fact that they do a lot of the repetitive same things. There's no change in the behaviour, there's no change in the relationship. It gets a bit stale, and then when the relationship gets a bit stale, then they start to feel down, and then because they start to feel down, that impacts on the mood impacts on the behaviour, and then the behaviour impacts on the relationship. So the aim of behavioural activation from this perspective is to work on what I call the 3-area model. So this is based on helping the clients to increase a lot of pleasurable activities in the personal for themselves, increasing things that they get a sense of achievement out of, so things that make them want to get up out of bed in the morning. So for example, when I was struggling with sort of alcohol and drugs and that type of a problem, one of the things that made me want to get up about it, and this was a natural pleasure, was going back to college and studying and all of that. So that really helped me to move forward and get past it, and get past what I was struggling with was alcohol and drugs. So it's finding these meaningful things. It's not just about sort of going down the gym for a couple of hours a week. It's about finding meaningful things. And so this is what you would be doing with the clients, is doing that. And then the next thing, is going through what they can increase within the relationship together, what they can do physically together, and then as a family if they've got a family. So it's a 3-area model if they've got a family, children, and that I mean by that. If they've not, then it's just the 2 areas that you're going to be working on. So, and you may not use this intervention with every couple. Again, the beginning of the assessment, what you would do with the client would identify somewhere if this is going to be an appropriate intervention. Generally, I'm pretty good at formulating a client when they come and present in the first session, because I've done couples counselling for a number of years. So once you build that experience of working with couples, and that's what it takes really, is experience. But this course is setting the foundations and giving you a set of skills that you can put in your toolbox to work with couples, and then it's about gauging that experience of working with them, and then you'll be able to formulate their problems more effectively when you've got that experience behind you as well, if you're new to couples counselling. So that's generally a little bit of an overview of the whole module, should I say. And so what I'm going to be sharing with you in this unit is what I refer to as motivational interviewing. You've probably heard of motivational interviewing, but this is about helping them to get motivated into doing these things when it comes to behavioural activation, because sometimes people are not motivated, they've got no motivation. So I do this intervention with them just to help them see the benefit of becoming motivated and doing these things that include leisurely things, that include things that are relaxation, That includes social things. That include maybe looking at the diet if they're eating a lot of junk food. That could be impacting on their emotional well-being as well. So what we're doing is trying to get them motivated into doing more things for them personally, themselves, and as a couple and as a family if they're not doing that already. So motivational interviewing, that's what this is about. So again, what I would do is I would split the page in half. I would give them a page each, and then I would ask them to think of what are the benefits of not stopping, also they're not changing their behaviour the way they are now. So what are the benefits of not changing their behaviour? So what would they get out of it? And some people might say, well, I don't have to sort of start doing things I don't really want to do, because when people are low, they do become isolated, they don't want to do things, they are avoiding things, and that can impact on it as well. So people might say that, so they might do a little bit of a list there on that side. On the flip side is, what are the benefits of making some changes? So what are the benefits of making some changes? And so that's making changes in them areas what I talked about before. So what are the benefits of changing some of your diets? Well, you know, for example, some of the answers, well, I might feel healthier, I might lose weight, therefore if I lose weight I might be more confident. That would, if I'm feeling more confident, then that's going to impact on the relationship, because it's going to impact on the other person if you're feeling healthier and stuff like that. So they might start to list this. You can sort of guide them into a guided discovery technique by saying, well, I'm just wondering, would you not feel healthier emotionally healthier if you was sort of eating the right types of food and not just eating junk food all the time? And you might say, well, yeah, I probably would do. So you're not sort of telling them that that's what they've got to do, but you're inviting them to think about things if they're really struggling. If they just reel them off, that's absolutely fine. You don't really need to guide them to discover some of the things for themselves. But you can always use some counselling skills in terms of helping them to discover things. You're only wondering if that's something that they would have thought about. You're not sort of telling them that that's what will happen, because you don't know and neither do they. But obviously in the back of our mind we're thinking that this is going to help them by doing these things, by changing the diet, because research suggests that, you know, poor diet does impact on our emotional well-being, depending on what research you read. And also physical exercise, going down the gym, going for a walk, jogging, whatever the exercise might be, also releases chemicals within the brain that make people feel better. I know myself, when I go for a swim, I walk out of the swimming and I feel so much better. So I know that works hands down, and everybody that I talk to who do go swimming or do go exercising, whatever, then they all say the same as well. So I know that's a fact. And also then relaxation. When people relax, when they put a bit of self-care, like having a nice bath, you know, different things like that, that's all things. So again, they're making this list of what are the benefits of making these changes. And then obviously by the end of it, we would generally see a big list for the benefits of making the changes. So that is helping them to become motivated. So not saying that this is the only thing that's going to do it. There might be a bit of procrastination in there, and that's also covered in this module as well. So procrastination is, if you don't know what procrastination is, it's where we would put off doing something. And I've been a procrastinator in the past, where when it comes to assignments, where I will put off doing assignments till the last minute, and then I'll rush trying to do, and then I'll end up failing them. And that, when I look into it, it's more because I'm worried about failing at the beginning that I procrastinate. So this is a lot of barriers what you've got to try and break down, what I think is important to try and break down before doing the actual behavioural activation. So this is why I'm sharing this unit with you first of all, and this is what I would be doing if I was going to use behavioural activation. I would be looking at some motivational interviewing skills and different things like that to help them and overcoming procrastination, different things like that, to help them to get to a place where they can then go and do the things what they maybe planned in week one when they've done goal setting, because that comes in week one. They might do a little few more goals when they get to this behavioural activation, which probably will be the case anyway. So that is pretty much it for this module unit. And again, as always, please do leave comments underneath the videos, because it does help me with my development within the training, and it also helps engagement within inside the portal as well. And this is it for this module 4 unit 1, and this is behavioural activation. And so thank you for watching this short video, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.